Thank you very much, Emma. Well, this is exciting. The dawn of a new era for the NRLW. You heard from the players in the opener there, where they talked about the frustrations of last year. But now this is going to be the first of two NRLW competitions that we have for you in 2022. And the dawn of a new era as far as teams are concerned. 3 new teams on display. One of them we're seeing right now, the Gold Coast Titans, taking on the Dragons. As Emma mentioned, I've got Ruan Sims and Brad Fittler with me in commentary. And Ru, this is exciting. What an afternoon we're in for.
It certainly is. It's a history-making afternoon. The first time that we're having a triple header here at McDonald Jones Stadium. We're seeing one of the first new teams of this year in the Titans going up against one of the original teams in the Dragons. A lot of new faces among both squads, a lot of old faces. What I love about the Titans, they've gone for a really seasoned approach. And the Dragons only have 7 players from last year in this year's roster, but geez, all the new ones are exciting.
That's going to be a big thing. There's been a lot of movement, a couple of new teams. That means they need players. So I'm sure the scouts have been out hunting up all the women, trying to get some combinations over the summer. A lot of these girls wouldn't have done many pre-seasons, so look forward to see how they've handled it.
We do have a moment's silence at the ground now to honour the passing of some Dragons and Rugby League legends in the off-season.
In memory of John Graham, North Proman and Mark Shaw, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Impeccable moment's silence. And now we are getting ready for kickoff for the first of 2 NRLW seasons. And as we said, it is a massive year ahead for Women's Rugby League, a World Cup at the end of the year, all the representative games as well. It all starts right now at McDonald Jones Stadium. It'll be the Gold Coast Titans to kick things off. You'll see some familiar names, some new names as well. We'll tell you all about them as we head across the afternoon. Some of the familiar names, including a veteran returning, postponing retirement, Steph Hancock for the Gold Coast Titans. She's on the bench this afternoon.
Stay on side.
It's the Titans to get things underway. The first of a triple header on this Sunday afternoon in Newcastle. And first use of the football for the Dragons. Tegan Berry it is with the first touch. She's an excitement machine, Tegan Berry, playing on the same side of the field as Jamie Chapman. We saw how fast Jamie Chapman was in the All-Star game. Well, Tegan Berry is just as quick, may even have it covered. We'll find out later on. Another player that the Titans have to watch out defensively is the Dragons' number 9, Keely Davis, a good runner of the football. There's a dummy there to Elsie Elbert. She'll be looking for a strong charge. Won't get one now because it is the last. Here's the kick coming from Rachel Pearson. I want that one back again, go straight to the winger, but Freddie, we saw a bit of Rachel Pearson in the warm-up and she's got a big boot on her.
Well, that was a 40-metre kick. It did hit the Titans player on the fall, but I was speaking to Kylie Hilda, the New South Wales Origin coach, and we're talking about young Rachel Pearson. She's from Hay, made the move to chase a dream to go to the Dragons, played for Helensburgh in her first season last year, and yeah, the one thing she does has a great kicking game, which is going to be invaluable. You've got 40-30s, 50-10s, so she can put herself in a good position, give her team a great advantage.
Shannon Marto with a hit up. The battle through the middle today is one to get really excited, but boy, oh boy, we've got some very talented outside backs as well. This one takes a tricky bounce. The Titans almost recovering, but a knock on. A bounce of the rugby league ball. Rwanda can go anywhere.
It certainly can, and that kick came on the fourth there from the Titans because the defensive pressure that the Dragons were putting on was immense. Obviously, that kick from Rachel Pearson went straight to the winger, but the defensive pressure that the second rower and the wingers put on her meant that the Titans were in their own 20 for 3 of those tackles. So that is a really great start. And the middles that you spoke about, Kezzy Apps is in the middle. We would normally see her on that left edge running freely, but she's moved into the middle. She had a good touch first up, as did Holly Wheeler, really bending that Titans defensive line.
Good thing about the kick also is the bounce. After it hit the ground, it sort of tells you the ground's nice and dry. It hasn't had too much rain here today, and that's a really good sign. This is the 4th game this week on this ground. I've got to say, it looks fantastic.
It's going to be a busy afternoon as well, the first of 3 games. Here's Elsie Elbert tackled on the halfway line. Keely Davis going to dummy half. It's a pass away, and this is a good field position here for the Dragons. The Jamie Soward coached St George Illawarra Dragons. There's Elbert with another strong hit up and a big collision there in the middle with Brianna Clark. Inside the Titans 30 they go now. Last play here for the Dragons. Will they go to Pearson again for the kick? Now that's good defence there from the Titans. They've turned it over. Dragons a little bit of indecision there, Brad.
Yeah, Talia Holmes was getting ready to chase the kick. It was Fumayano. She dummied and she saw some space, but the kick early on in this game would have been the right option.
That's one of the things, Ruan, is the Dragons trying to get Emma Tonagato back into the game as early as possible. Played rugby league, went to Sevens, won a gold medal at the Rio Olympics, and now back where she belongs in rugby league.
Absolutely. She's a hugely talented player. If they can get her the ball, she can create a lot of space for herself and a nice support run. Obviously, her opposite in Avania Politi is another one you've got to keep a real eye on, as Kimi Oronati pops a nice little kick over the top, but Tegan Berry's up to the task.
Yeah, she takes it well, Tegan Berry.
Yeah, one thing I noticed from the first kick was how deep Emma Tonagato was. And that time the Titans realised again that she was deep and looked for the little chip over the top. But Tegan Berry was also realised how deep a fullback was and covered for the Dragons.
Here's Keely Davis. 12 short of the halfway line for the Dragons. Good start to the game from both teams. Holly Wheeler into the line. Good strong run from the lock forward for the Dragons. Eventually plays the ball. Here's a kick coming from Pearson. Can't get it over the head of Politi. Stepping, looking for a hole in the Dragons' chase. But I tell you what, that was a good chase as well. They well drilled this Dragons team.
It was a great chase. And again, another kick we see going on the forward. So they're really trying to catch out those fullbacks, see if they're in position or up for the task. And if the forwards from the opposition are slow getting back, they'll get stuck in their own half.
Well, this is the best part of Jamie Soward's game, is his game management and his ability to put his team in good field position. And you can see straight away how this is going to be the basis of their team, is playing good field position and putting the other team under pressure by getting the ball down there. Nice offload.
There's a couple of nice passes there. A late pass just before the line from Shannon Marto. Here's Nati going to Tasman Gray. Good defence though from the Dragons. Nati down the short side. Here's a kick over the top. Better watch for the bounce. Coming through onto it is Rafstrand Smith. Almost getting to the ball, the 18-year-old. And the Dragons now have it through Tegan Berry.
Once again recognising the fullback was a little bit deep. Kimmy just dropped it over again. And this time it found the grass and got an awkward bounce for the Dragons. A nice defence from the fullback to save a try.
High tackle.
The first penalty of the game, just creeping up a little high there.
Well, the Titans will be disappointed in that. Coached by Jamie Feeney. You know, we talk about how Soward was so good at game management. Jamie Feeney defensively minded, and you can see that in the way the Titans are really controlling the ruck speed, and they're really slowing down that play the ball for the Dragons, which means when they actually push up, they're finding a flat defensive line and hardly any cracks there. So they'll be disappointed giving away that penalty, because now the Dragons, 55 metres out, they love attacking from this position. They've got the pace to do it.
Welcoming those watching us on Channel 9 through New South Wales and on Gem as well in Queensland today. With the ongoing flood crisis in southeast Queensland, we certainly are thinking of everyone in the region. And hope that you're all able to stay safe, as here's a mistake from Kezzy Apps, a rare mistake from Apps, even though she had to reach up for it. Entitled to take it. A rare mistake from Kezzy.
Push back, Georgia. Marcus, push up.
Told to go back and play it here, Georgia Hale. Interesting that Jamie Feeney choosing to go with the experience in Georgia Hale to start the game, and youngster Destiny Brill, who was named in jersey number 13, coming off the bench, one of the 3 18-year-olds in the Titans team.
I like that start. I think Georgia Hale has that experience and that composure to really take that settling down period at the start and help turn the game the Titans' way. Then that way Destiny Brill can come on and just set it alight.
I rang Kezzy Apps actually on the way up the freeway, and you could hear over the phone how nervous she was. Not just the fact that she's changing position, going to front row, but hasn't played football for over 400 odd days. So, yeah, she was very nervous, and she's one of the more experienced girls out on there tonight.
Yeah, well, she hasn't played since Origin, as a lot of the rep players. That's the last football that these players have had.
It's a long gap, isn't it?
But we're back, Pete.
We are. How good.
Bit of normality.
I know. It's brilliant.
And footy in February. Ooh.
Are you saying it's a great thing, or why have we waited so long?
I love it. That I'm not playing it in February when it's hot and wet.
We can work out how to get it in January. Maybe not that safe, but
Players might not like it, but
Get through New Year's Day and straight into rugby league. That'll be good. All right, here's the Dragons now through Albert. Another strong run.
there's another girl who's on her first pre-season, come down 2 years ago, and hadn't had that advantage of just a full couple of months of training, and apparently it's her first time ever lifting weights, so I look forward to seeing Elsie in defence. That's what she's renowned for, the P&G jukebox they call it.
Oh, little passes there going through the middle, and it's spotting to that far left edge.
It's Holmes there, out there, Ruan, tackled 29 away from the Titans line. Kick coming. And Politi is underneath it here for the Titans, looking to link up with her player on the outside. Might not have to, has run right around them. Will do well to stay in the field of play and will be thrown into touch, but wasn't a second effort. No, it wasn't a second effort from Jamie Chapman. It was good defence, and the Dragons will get the ball back.
Well, look, it was great defence, but I honestly thought that the tackle had been completed and that was a little push over the edge. We'll watch this on replay as this a big don't argue on Tegan Berry right in the middle of the chest. She's so strong. Vanya. Here, the tackle, I think, is completed and then a little bit extra, but...
Well, the referee's reasoning was that she hadn't stopped momentum, but when you look at that, I feel like Polite did a pretty good job by actually stopping. There's the first, that instant roll. Oh, that's tough.
It's very on the edge, isn't it?
All right, let's go with the ref.
Go. No tackle.
And Albert's knocked it on, so the rugby league gods are with us in February.
It's just a few little jitters through the middle now. I mean, I'd love to know just sort of how wet it is down there, or if it's just those greasy conditions, because it was relatively dry when we drove up, but then there was a light sprinkling of rain just before kickoff. So I wonder whether that's starting to, now that fatigue's setting in, causing a few little handling errors.
The one thing I've noticed is there's not much ball movement through the front rows in the middle. And if I watched all the trial matches, one of the things that stood out to me is the front rowers, you know, had the ability to tip on it, people were in position.
Here's a pass out to Karina
touched.
Brown.
There you go.
Play on here for the Titans.
That's 0, yeah? Oh, there's an injury here to Karina Brown, which...
Time off.
Yeah, she stayed down here, Karina Brown. Trying to get up now. It's one of the real first opportunities that she's had.
She's holding the left knee.
It did look awkward. It didn't look like there was anything...
Yeah, you can see the big chunk out of the ground behind her. That's where her leg got caught. She's ready to go.
So she's back on her feet, played the football, and this has gone forward. A couple of mistakes starting to creep into both teams at the moment. They're playing with great intensity, but that one was just lack of communication from the Titans.
But this is what you want to see, isn't it, Freddie? Obviously executed better, but that's what you want to see. You want to see that little tip on, that little bubble move where you pop around the back and create that extra space just by the pass.
Yeah, little combinations. I think everyone's excused first game of the year. You just like to get the ball in your hand and get tackled and get that feeling back in the body. But yeah, just those little combinations through the middle. Getting the ability to get a one-on-one tackle, a quick play of the ball.
He's Holmes for the Dragons. See Quincy Dodd is on the field too. Watch out for her in jersey number 14. A real live wire. Holly Wheeler now. 29 away from the line. Big opportunity again here for the Dragons. There is Dodd going to dummy half. Takes a couple of steps. Here's Kezzy Apps now. Apps straightens up after an initial very good step. He's tackled 15 away from the line, just off centre field. Dodd now, options both sides for her. Which way will she go? Goes out to the left. Mayono, Tonegado now with a step, but the Titans defence is there. Lauren Dam with the initial contact in jersey 18. They're 10 away from the line now. Here's Wheeler. Best attacking opportunity of the game so far for the Dragons. It is the last. And they're going towards the post. Can they get an offload away? It's there. Apps does well, picks it up, gets it away. Pearson now. She throws it out the back. It's still play on. No, it's
She's going to regrip it here to knock on. Last tackle handover.
Oh, that last pass, it went to the wrong person. It went to the hard-running middle forward. I think it was Keely Davis pushing up through the middle, heading towards the post. The space was out behind. There was a 3-on-1 overlap. Both the centre and the winger had no defenders in front of them. And the Titans get out of jail free with that one.
I'm not sure where the knock-on was, but just that set of six where the Dragons were promoting the ball. Once again, just promoting the ball, getting in a good position, making it really tough for the defence to slow the play the ball down.
And they were changing the point of attack, which really helps it. Going against those inside shoals in this kind of conditions.
That's a great hit. How's that coming through the effects mic?
That was a hospital pass.
Clark now on the halfway line for the Titans. They'll gain confidence out of that defensive effort. Nardi goes to Gray, and Gray makes 4 or 5 post-contact metres, 11 metres into Dragons territory. Saley Bent, one of the defenders. Nati puts it high, and that's a good take from Bartlett. There's still no score after 14 minutes of play, but it's been an intense opening to the opening NRLW game of the season. First of 3 you'll see right here on 9 across the afternoon. Another solid hit, but ruled to be high.
Tie contact. Shannon. Just back on the mark, please.
She run it there again,
She hits.
Chest.
Yeah. And just while that break-in play was happening, Jamie Chapman was getting some treatment on one of those wrists, the right wrist potentially, or the left wrist, by the physio. She took a knock to it earlier and sort of has not had her hands on the ball since, so we'll keep an eye on how she rolls.
Saley Bent now reaches the halfway line after the Dragons rewarded the penalty. Davis goes to Wheeler.
Haven't seen much of Charlie Bent. Nice offload from the Dragons.
And here goes Quincy Dodd, Freddie. Almost splitting them. Good tackle there from Shannon Mardo.
Untangle, hold, untangle,
A bit tangled up there. Now Pearson throws a dummy, tries to put on a step and a sprint, but it's tackled. 19 away from the line. Dodd now goes to Tonegado. Here's Chapman. Good defence. Tiana Raftran-Smith, the 18-year-old, up to the task. Now Pearson. Davis throws a dummy. Oh, and she got smashed.
That was Marto.
There's a big overlap on the left.
Mayono gets a pass out wide. They're going for the line. Going to be tackled just short. Lauren Dam with a try saver for the Titans, and that's a changeover.
What a great tackle. Mayono made the right decision, threw the cutout. There was a 2-on-1. Karuna Brown jammed in. with I think it's Zara Canfield come up with the try-saving tackle.
Working well on that side of the field, Freddie, with Zara Canfield, Lauren Dam, Karina Brown defensively.
They did everything right, the Dragons there. Just beaten by a really good defence.
On their own 20 here, the Gold Coast, coming out of their own ends. And on the field, with the ball in hand, is Steph Hancock. So great to see her still involved in NRLW. I don't think she'll ever retire. Through, here comes the kick from Kimiora Nadi, looking for a 40-30. And Tonegato's trapped it. Luckily for her, she had a bit of time. And who's there leading the charge? Steph Hancock making the tackle on Emma Tonegato.
She may have to be retired. She was brilliant last year in the start of Origin game. Just knows her way around the footy field. She's pretty much been here since the inception of Women's Rugby League. You know a lot about Steph. You would have played her plenty of times.
Yeah, with and against, plenty of times. A competitor through and through. This is a much better kick. Much better kick from Pearson. And the chase as well is really going to make this, because there's only 2 Titans players that are actually back behind this play the ball, and they are spread out thinly here. And the Dragons, they're teeing up to tee off.
Here's Tataya Papua. That's a tough run for the young winger, who incidentally is one of 3 players who wasn't born when Steph Hancock played her first game of rugby league.
You don't need to call old girls out like that.
That is just
you can just be quiet.
Well, David Middleton gave me the stat.
Well, here we've got 2 Dragons players. Look like a bit of friendly fire. They've taken each other out in this tackle. They tried to get Karina Brown down on the turf, but she's very hard to tackle when she's moving, and they've taken each other out here. We're going to watch a replay. Oh, and the effects might pick that up too. A bit of a head clash there. So hopefully everybody is okay, because that looks like Shaylee Bent definitely copped a hit to the jaw.
It's a brave run by Karina Brown. Just shows the speed, a little bit of space in behind the ruck. If you can just poke your nose through like she did there, it gives your team such an advantage. The defence moves up past the ball. You can poke your nose through, you get the advantage of a quick play of the ball, and you've got a retreating defence on the next tackle.
Yeah.
So what a great run.
And even more impressive, she's a right side winger taking that run on the left side tram tracks.
Now for the biggest hits and even bigger opinions in women's footy, join Alana Ferguson, Ruan Sims and Emma Lawrence on NRLW Wrap. It's Thursdays on 9 now. Great first up show a couple of days ago, so well done to Ruan, Alana, and to the host, Emma Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Shaylee Bent looks like she's been replaced.
Yeah, HIA.
Haven't seen much of Shaylee Benrue. Can you tell us about her? She looked great in the first 18 minutes.
Yeah, she's a very strong ball runner, very strong defender. Unfortunately, 2 players coming off with head injury assessments, so they've got 15 minutes to prove fitness. That includes the halftime. I love the way Shaylee plays. She's very good on her feet, and she's a good thinker as well. The ball hasn't been getting to her side. All the action's sort of been happening through the middle and to that left.
Well, Holly Wheeler comes back on.
She was great for them in the start of this game too, as the Titans are really looking to shift that ball.
And, well, they've got the ball here. It's still the last. Elsie Albert didn't get a touch. Tasman Gray dived on the loose ball just in time. Nardi puts it high. It's a midfield bomb. And it's well taken there by the Dragons. And Phil Mayono stood her ground. Just going back to Steph Hancock, as we were talking before, the 3 players that weren't born when she made her debut were Destiny Brill, who's on the bench.
Don't go there, mate.
We told you.
Jataya Fafua and Tiana Raftran-Smith. I just had to finish off the story.
I thought we told you to leave that
We'll be
alone.
telling Steph.
Yeah.
Here goes Pearson. One of those teenagers, Raftran-Smith, wrapped her up and then got a ball away. And it's Chapman who's staying alive here. Got away from Fafua. The cavalry came, including Tasman Gray and Steph Hancock. Albert. Good strong run. Jess Elliston, one of the defenders down low. Dodd now. Hui Mayono gets a pass out wide, and Well, it was on the last. They're going to get caught with the ball 8 metres away from the line.
And not a bad place to finish a set of 6 either. They keep attacking down that left-hand side.
I haven't seen a kick down that left edge yet, though, because I'd like to see it, Freddie, because the people that have got chasing have got some pace.
Yeah, well, they've passed the ball the last couple of times, Roo, so not a bad tactic. Bring the right side of the Titans defence up. Here's Karina Brown again, just poking your nose through. Just look at the advantage. You've got the defence running backwards. Good play of the ball. And then you run it else.
Ex-teammate, Elsie Albert.
Yeah. And Steph Hancock losing the ball, and now the Dragons have got it. Kezzy Apps was very quick to get on that loose one, going through the middle. They're on the attack here, the Dragons. Pearson, now Tonegado, out wide, Chapman for the corner, oh no, putting it down. It's Tegan Berry. Tegan Berry it is, and I think she has got it down. She has. Tegan Berry with the first try of NRLW 2022 for the Dragons.
I think she was looking up at the linesman as she was scoring the try to say, I got this down on the Harvey Norman replay. This time they go to the right-hand side. As Tonegado comes up with a beautiful cutout pass, just catches the Titans winger, just sneaking in a little bit too far. And what a brilliant finish by Tegan Berry. She's had a great first half.
Well, she absolutely have, and I love the lead up to that. Elsie Albert through the middle, creating that turnover in excellent ball position. Mate, the ref was right there, called it on the spot.
Look at the touchy.
Didn't even need to go to the video ref, Steve Chitty. She was all over it. Great finish by Tegan Berry, and Faye Fua just gave her a little too much space on the outside. And Tegan, I watched her with a runaway try in the 18s a couple of years ago for the State of Origin. She shows clean heels. She is a fast player, and she gets a nice little handoff too there, so real strength that close to the line. That was fantastic.
Real touch of class by the fullback, Tonegatu. You can just see the threat of the speed. Just passed it perfectly at the right time and gave Berry enough space to outstretch for Fua. She just got watching the ball a little bit, the Titans winger, and just outclassed there by a beautiful pass from Tonegado.
Remember that night at North Sydney Oval when she ran the length of the field, as you mentioned, in that under-19s game?
Didn't they time it? It was some ridiculous time, 11.5 seconds or something she ran.
Quick. She's very quick. And this is a tough kick for Rachel Pearson, but she's got a good boot on her. We were watching her earlier.
So. I watched a goal kick.
On. She got one from here, Freddie, during the warm-up.
She's got the distance. Don't worry about that.
She's going the distance.
Well, she got it from here in the warm-up. Can she get it now in the game? She struck it pretty well, but goes across the face, no goal.
It had the length. That's such a sevens finish, that pass. Such a good pass. Yeah. She goes with them. She didn't play. So,
Onside.
So first blood to the Dragons, leading the Titans 4 points to 0. Opportune time for us to go into the Dragons coaches box. Jamie Soward joining us. Sowie, good to get first points in this one.
Yeah, mate, we built pressure there. It's probably, yeah, it was good finish from Flash.
Just breathe.
I think I've forgotten. But yeah, no, it was good work there. We've put some sets into them. We've won that cycle, so I just need to complete the set now.
Now, Sowie, we've seen your game management skills on display, but for me, defensively, I've been so impressed with the way your crew's been turning up today. Yeah,
we've got some old heads there. I love the fact that Kezzy has approached that move into the middle with real vigour, and Elsie's gotten off the back of that in her second stint here. We're just starting to get on top of field.
It must be a pleasure coaching Rachel Pearson. She looks so much actually like when you play, just knows when to kick, got a great kicking game. How much time do you spend with her talking about getting the team into good field position?
Yeah, Freddie, Rat's one of those players that has a natural drop with a kick, and we all know how important that is in terms of getting to your kick, and the game management part is something that sits naturally with her. So I've loved working with her, and you can see that she's enjoying for her first NRLW game. She's been outstanding.
Well, Sowie, thanks for joining us, mate. Good luck for the rest of the game, hey?
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Jamie Soward joining us there, the coach of the Dragons NRLW team.
You know he's alive this afternoon.
He did with that kickoff.
Yeah, he'll sleep like a baby.
Here's Vania Politi, the fullback for the Titans, playing the ball. Destiny Brill on the field.
Great commentary by the ref.
I'm going to first knock on Titans.
Oh, there's a mistake here from the Titans.
Well, again, another midfield error gives the Dragons the opportunity with some really great position, and we've seen what they're able to do when they get this close to the line. They actually really like attacking from that little bit further away.
Yeah, the NRL has an incredibly strong connection to the Pacific, and with the volcanic and tsunami devastation that has hit Tonga, the National Rugby League are partnering with the Australian Red Cross to raise money for the recovery efforts. For more information on how you can support, visit nrl.com/Tonga. So there it is on your screen there, nrl.com/Tonga.
I didn't get a chance to ask Jamie Soward about it, but I don't know if you've noticed this as well, Freddie, the difference that Quincy Dodd, when she's come on and then pushing Keely Davis into that lock position, she's created a little bit more uncertainty through the middle.
But once you take that initial period out of the game, the size, if you're holding the ball, doesn't matter as much. And you get the advantage of a couple of ball players and people who read the ruck really well. So that's what we're talking about, just those little tip-ons. And you've noticed the Dragons over the last 10 minutes, just, little combinations, going back through the middle like you spoke about before, Roo. Really putting the Titans under pressure.
Pearson almost getting straight through.
Can you believe she's on debut?
Yeah, she's
unbelievable.
Good. Kylie Hilda, the New South Wales coach.
We're very happy, Kylie Hilda.
Holmes playing the ball back to Dodd. Dragons certainly on the front foot. Janelle Williams, her first touch. Good defence there, Alliston and Hancock. Here's the last. They go to the right. Here's Pearson putting in a kick. Rafstran Smith lets it go, and it's a knock on. Titans. More pressure coming now from the Dragons.
Yeah, Tonagato had taken herself over the left-hand side, so it really left only one option, and it was for Pearson just to try to thread the needle. She did a really good job. Nearly caught the, must have been the hand, it looked like a foot at the Titan centre. It was a lovely kick, nice balance. And as Jamie Soward mentioned, when people have got that natural drop, they've been kicking a ball for a long time, and you can see she has that. It's a real benefit to be able to keep improving on that. Once you've got that instinct, kicking becomes a lot easier.
So the Dragons now, scrum feed 10 metres away from the line. Here's Tonagato throwing dummies, now looking to straighten. Rafstran Smith makes the tackle. Berry, the try scorer, goes to dummy half. Quincy Dodd gives it straight to Kezi Apps. Apps has got nowhere to go, tackled 7 metres away from the line. Dodd now. Now Pearson showing it, eventually passing. No, they get a pass away. And it's Cody House who's tackled a couple of metres away. Gets up, plays it. They've got numbers out wide. They go out to the winger and will score a try through Madison Bartlett, who's in. The Dragons go back to back.
It was only a matter of time. She's been standing out in space for quite a while. The ball hasn't been able to get to her. On the play before, if Fuimayano could have got the ball over the top, she had plenty of space to score the try. And on the Harvey Norman replay, beautiful pass. And it's just a simple tip on. And Bartlett gets the try for the Dragons.
But again, that lead up from Rachel Pearson in the tackle prior to that one, just being able to turn players underneath her, hold the defensive line up, and then get the edge defenders interested and then shift that ball wide is really fantastic. Like, I made a joke about, can you believe she's on debut, but she is playing with such poise. She is fantastic to watch, and again, a beautiful finish out wide there. The Dragons are really turning it on through the middle. I'm really loving it.
The shift started from the other side, Roo. The dummy half pass from the winger, Tegan Berry, was a ripper. The next one come from Dodd was also a ripper, and they're biting off 2 and 3 defenders at a time. And then by the time they bid in, when the pass come from Fuimayano, Madison Bartlett literally had 10 metres standing there on her own. So it was one of those tries that was built over a couple of tackles, just digging into defenders, and the Titans just left with no one.
Well, here's Pearson again from the other side of McDonald Jones Stadium. And it's waved away, no goal.
Stay outside!
The shots from high above McDonald Jones Stadium. It's the Titans with a fair bit of work to do here. A very little ball in the last 10 minutes or so. And it is 35-minute halves this year for NRLW. Kezzy Apps playing in the middle and hasn't had a rest.
Oh, played all 29 minutes so far.
Janelle Williams. Interesting player too, Ruwan, who's getting another opportunity as LCL, but tosses it out the back. There's Cody House, who's on the field. Player with a heap of talent. He's had a fair share of injuries. Here goes Tonegado.
Look at him
got
move.
Cody House on her outside.
Ooh.
Goes on her.
Maddie Hammer, Maddie's got her.
And is going to be tackled. 2 metres away from the line. Emma Tonegado, what a run. Now from dummy half, they're going to be stopped. The Titans defence got back in numbers, and that'll be a changeover.
I think she liked that decision again.
Oh, look, it was a great break by Tonegado. Equally was the defence by Politi. Look at her just track here. This is the break by Tonegado. She shows great strength, shrugs off big defenders through the middle, tucks the ball, and look at Vani come. She's tracking her beautifully and brings it a deck.
And there's been a mistake here from the Gold Coast.
No advantage. No advantage.
So the Dragons knocked the ball on, but there was no advantage, as you just heard from the referee. So they'll come back for the initial mistake from the Gold Coast. Jamie Feeney won't like the errors that have crept into the Titans game.
You just see from the Dragons their pressure they're putting on the middle of the Titans. Now there's a bit of space opening up on the edges. This time Tonegado took advantage. It was a great chase. Quincy Dodge had people everywhere. I think she assumed. I think she just assumed everyone's going to chase the options. But pretty good defence by the Titans to keep their eye on the ball.
Now Pearson, they go out the back. Chapman gets a pass away to Bartlett, the try scorer. And Madison Bartlett will play it a couple of metres away from the line. Less than 5 minutes left in the first half. And the back end of this half dominated by the Dragons, who are looking for their third try of the afternoon.
That's good.
Janelle Williams. And is going to be stopped half a metre away from the line.
She can see it, Vaughn.
They cut out Kelsia Albert on the bounce. Bartlett can't handle, goes in the touch. The Titans just hang on.
Well, that was the pass she was looking for before. She realised her winger, Madison Bartlett, has been in space for the last 15 minutes. I think that time just had to go through the hands. There was Janelle Williams there, ever so close to the front rowers. They can just see the line.
You can smell the line when you're that close.
And Kezzy Apps having a rest. And there's iced up too around the shoulder there.
Just on some of the protocols, talking to Kezzy, all the girls get up in the morning, they go down, they all do a rat test. Imagine how nervous you'd be on game day. You'd just be dreading the second red line.
Sure would.
One of the Roosters players.
Corbin Baxter.
Corbin Baxter has unfortunately had to pull out of the game due to a positive test. So that is a shame because she is their captain too. So we'll see the Roosters and Broncos in action next.
Kick here from Grace Griffin. It's the first time in a long time the Titans have got to a kick.
Gee, she moves well, doesn't she, Tegan Berry? Like, she is powerful, she moves beautifully. Emma Tonagato has the same kind of running style, and they are just a pleasure to watch.
Once again, just that ability to poke your nose through makes such a difference.
Keely Davis. The two fullbacks leading the metres gain stats. Now, coming up after this game, we've got Roosters against the Broncos. Then later this afternoon, it's the Eels against the Knights.
Last tackle.
Can't wait to see the next two games. Can't wait to see how this game unfolds there either. Kick there from Pearson. Politi has got it. There's a little gap there if she can exploit it. It goes straight through. Politi up towards the halfway line. Dummies on the inside. Takes the tackle. Had Karina Brown looming up in support. Couldn't find her, and is a penalty.
There's one apiece for the fullbacks.
Jamie stays in there too long.
Might be lucky they're not to be spending 10 minutes in the sin bin.
This was a great break, and I thought the referee had actually called the middle forward offside, which is why she didn't go for that tackle, but that was, she again, another player who moves beautifully on her feet and is able to find breaks.
So this is a rarity. The Titans inside the Dragons' territory. Jessica Elliston, former Bronco, inside the Dragons' 20. Brayley Nati out of dummy half, gets a pass away, and it's Destiny Brill. She's strong and tackled 9 metres away, put in an awkward spot there. In fact,
just wait.
It's a penalty.
Too high. Just wait, because we're on 10. It's not quick.
High tackle there from Cody House.
I think Cody House actually pulled the ball free as well, so a bit unlucky there.
Yeah, it's with Steph Hancock, throws it out in the back. Titans still have it.
Thanks again. Cody coming up with some absolute ripping tackles.
Now they're on the front foot here, the Gold Coast, looking for their first points, not only this afternoon, but in their history of NRLW. It's, of course, their first ever game. Now Brill has got it. Centre of the ground, the lock forward. We'll play it back. Kimmy Brayley Nardi gets a pass away to Tasman Gray for the line, and she'll get there. Tasman Gray got up confidently. It's right on half-time.
I've got a no try. Can you just confirm the Titans lose the ball over the try line?
Oh, well, the ref was right there, and she called that Dragons try beautifully, but Tasman Gray made a great surge for the line, had defenders hanging off her. Oh, Tale Holmes just gets a leg in the way and pops that ball free. That is clutch defence on the line there.
The last game Tasman Gray played was against New South Wales. She was brilliant.
Yeah, she was. She was very strong.
Very destructive. Jordan Rapina's sister, the Canberra fullback, Canberra winger.
So no try. That was, only needed one decision there, one look at it. So no try. And at the break, it's the Dragons leading the Titans by 8 points to 0. NRLW action on this Sunday afternoon on 9. We're just about ready for the second half of the first of 3 games. The Dragons in control at the break. They lead by 8 points to 0 over the Gold Coast Titans. And the Titans come back. Well, they showed some positive signs late on in the first half once they started to hold on to the football. This Dragons team looking very, very strong indeed. A wonderful afternoon here in Newcastle, McDonald Jones Stadium. Coming up after this game, we've got the Broncos against the Roosters. Then it's the home side, the Knights taking on the Eels. Both teams on debut in NRLW.
Well, the Titans would have loved that half-time break, making an extra 46 tackles the first half.
Holding on.
That makes Tamsin Gray's effort just that little bit more heartbreaking just on half-time. Let's see how they handle the rest.
So it is the Titans with first use of the football to open up the second half, and it's Steph Hancock charging into the Dragons' defence.
You know, I touched on this briefly with Jamie Soward. I have been so impressed with the level of defence that the Dragons have brought into this game, as Elsie Albert absolutely creams the poor young five out there, Grace Griffin. I've loved how willing they've been, how physical they've taken this to the Titans.
One of those with adding that physicality is Elsie Albert, getting involved a lot defensively. A strong runner of the football as well, as we said earlier. There's plenty of game breakers in this Titans team. They're certainly not out of it yet. Here's Rathstrand Smith. 12 short of the halfway line. In fact, there's 6 players in this Titans team who have won an NRLW, which means there's 6 ex-Broncos in the team. Here's Fuimaono now. They want that kick back again, the Gold Coast.
It looked like it came off the outside edge of the boot there, and unfortunately for them, the Dragons have taken it cleanly. And Cody House, who we started to talk about in the first half, she has shown some real strength, trucking that ball up, and defensively as well, with some really strong tackles on the line.
And on the back of it there, Albert was able to make a strong run. So 2 big hit-ups, and now Pearson with some room to move. Gets a pass away, and all of a sudden, they are 10 metres away from the line. Shaylee Bent getting up to play the ball for the Dragons. Davis now goes to Albert, straight towards the post she goes, but it's going to be stopped a couple of metres away. Last play here for the Dragons. Slowish play the ball. Fuimaono did well, had to reach for that one. Conagardo can't find Bartlett. It looked magnificent right up until the end.
Oh, they'd set that up so well. From the play of the ball before, being able to use the hooker, Keely Davis as a halfback, and then Dodd playing out a dummy half, allowed him to move the ball. Pearson stayed on the right-hand side, and then it was Tonegata who swept around. It was a try gone begging.
When you're ready, Seth, go.
The Titans just hold on that occasion. Seen some terrific football throughout the first half and a bit here. So let's go down to Emma Lawrence, who's got a special guest with her. Down to you, Emma.
Isabel, great to see you back in Roosters colours. How does it feel to be back home?
It honestly feels like being at home. I love this club. I really missed it last year when I wasn't here, but we've got a great side, great coach, and I'm really excited to see what we can do.
Another one of your big name signings is Jess Surgis. What's it like to have her in your team?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good to have Wingsy here. We're used to being up against each other, so just being, with each other in the same team and, being some of the strengths within this side, I'm really excited to see what she can do.
Can't wait to watch you, Isabel. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great chat there with Emma Lawrence with Isabel Kelly, and almost something positive going the Titans' way, but wasn't to be, Freddie.
Yeah, Brittany Brayley, Nato's asking the question. It actually touched a Dragons player, and the referees indicated that it was unintentional. Yeah, they missed an opportunity there, the Titans, but they're down the other end of the field, which is the best place for them. They've defended their in goal pretty much the entire game, so it was a good start of the second half.
Here's the Dragons now, just outside their own 30.
We're just seeing a quick interchange at the back here. Elsie Albert was with the physio clutching at her chest or throat. So Kezzy Asher's going to come back in the middle as Rachel Pearson puts in a great kick, finds some space, and look at the speed. Jamie Chapman.
Chapman coming out after it. She'll have to get her skates on, Politi. That is brilliant.
That is brilliant. Third tackle. That's Jamie Soward all over. Saw some space behind the Titans fullback. Just backed herself on the Harvey Norman replay. She's got on the front foot. Saw where the fullback was. Look at the chase from the Dragons. It's McGregor, beautiful tackle. Timed it perfectly. Didn't panic, didn't rush. Gave her some time. They get the ball back. What a great kick and chase.
The wheels on Jamie Chapman, outstanding.
Well, you can see why she was the player of the match for the All-Stars game. She was outstanding in that game, and she has come up with some beautiful plays so far in this one.
Here's the dropout. It's taken here by Holmes. She'll be tackled.
Surrender! Stand now!
Lauren Dam, one of the defenders for the Titans. It's Cody House again. Strong charge. Takes 3 of them to get her down, including Jessica Elliston and Steph Hancock. Here's Davis, lets her run a go, goes to Pearson. They had numbers, and the ball comes out and knock on from the Dragons, number 7.
I think it was Shania Power who came up with the tackle. Pearson saw a bit of space, pinned the ears back, and it was the 12,
Oh, it was
Tasman Gray.
again.
Just dragged the left arm down, released the ball, and got their ball back for the team. They're looking dangerous, the Dragons.
Oh, yeah, well, Rach pinned her ears back to run that ball on that one. They had a 2-player overlap on that right edge there, and I thought she might just have been able to put that kick through or pop it over the top, but we see an error in the play the ball here, or in the tackle.
No.
Oh.
That hurts.
Well, if Jamie Feeney had hair, he'd be tearing it out right now.
Look, I wasn't going to say that, but Saltsy, you're just throwing the bombs today, my friend.
Well, that was Jamie Sowd we just saw on screen. He'll be very happy with what he's seen here.
Yeah, that's just a cold drop.
Well, there is Jamie Feeney.
Quincy Dodd done a great job over the top.
Okay, all the way in, Quincy.
Yep, Tale Holmes down low in the breadbasket.
Just that pressure, having the hand around the ball, trying to get a quick play of the ball.
Tonegado with a step, going towards the line, dragged down 5 metres away from it. The Dragons looking very dangerous here as they attack the short side, and that's good defence.
Nice
Tiana Raftran-Smith. Beautiful tackle from the 18-year-olds. Now Pearson, centre of the ground here for the Dragons. Titans just hanging on. Converted try here for the Dragons, and they'll be very hard to run down. Fuimeono now shaped a kick, then went to pass, but went to run and was tackled. 9 metres away from the line, the ball comes free, but it's a penalty. Hand on the ball.
There's a bit of space back on the inside. Talia Holmes dropped under, and it looked like the middle of the Titans' defence is starting to open up again. So using that tactic of going back through the middle might be a good option for the Dragons.
Holmes now. Full set of 6 here for the Dragons. Dodd, who's been impressive, coming off the bench for the Dragons this afternoon. Davis goes to Kezi Apps. And Apps will be driven back in the tackle. It's not often you say that. It's good defence from the Gold Coast. Dodd
Plenty of numbers.
Pearson, out wide they go. Chapman, dummies, going for the line and is just short.
Great defence.
Sensational defence. Raftran-Smith again from dummy half though. In again, Tegan Berry, her second try of the afternoon, and the Dragons will go further in front.
Well, the shift over to the right-hand side that put the Titans' defence in disarray, and the Harvey Norman replay. And everyone, here it goes. Pearson looked like plenty of space. McGregor looked like she was going to score herself, and the Titans just didn't watch the ball.
Oh, unfortunately there for the Titans, nobody stood directly in front of the person playing the ball. They just stood in those half A positions right next to it and pushed up thinking that that pass was going to go back to Pearson, who was screaming for the ball. And Tegan Berry, not only does she have a fast set of wheels on her, show some really great game knowledge there to just pop straight over the top and score another 4-pointer for the Dragons. That right edge for the Dragons is scintillating.
Well, that's one of those marker plays where when you're in the middle, you do so much of that because the play of the ball's around the middle and there's so much communication about where you need to be exactly and how far from the play of the ball. But as it gets further out, it just doesn't happen as often. And young Tegan Berry realised that. The marker was thinking about something else and Tegan Berry just dived underneath. What a heads-up play.
A great exponent of that in the men's game in recent years was Justin Hodges. Used to do it on a regular basis.
Around the middle in the women's game, Quincy Dodd is one that can really pull that apart. But they haven't made it easy for poor Rach with these kicks, have they?
Here she is from out wide again. Trust us, folks, she was landing them from out here during the warm-up
You put them
today. Strikes.
She's
that
nailed
one
it!
really well.
Ooh,
Nailed it! Kick.
I know, right? The rat.
So Tegan Berry with the try out wide. And then this was the conversion here from Rachel Pearson. Outstanding kick. And a big kick too in the context of the game as well. Out to a more than 2 converted try lead.
So here's Jamie Sauer calling her the rat. Isn't it? I hope I haven't got that nickname wrong.
Jessica, off the arm! Give space!
Anyway, let's run with it. The rat nailed it.
So the Dragons now leading 14 points to 0. Titans with a big job ahead of them. They do have some match winners though in their lineup. But they've got to work on defence at the moment because the Dragons are looking very good.
Combinations through the middle. Keely Davis once again just being that link player through the middle, putting the Titans defence under all sorts of pressure.
Here's the last. This has been a good set after scoring that converted try. Tonegado kicks. Kicks again. It's a pinball machine out there, but Karina Brown is on it for the Titans. That could have gone anywhere, that second ricochet.
But after such a great attacking set after points, they really need to now defensively not give up easy meters. They want to make sure they try and trap the Titans as close to their own line as possible.
So coming up next, the grand final rematch between the Broncos and the Roosters, live from McDonald Jones Stadium here on your home of rugby league, Wide World of Sports. You won't want to miss this one. Coming up straight after this encounter. That's a more terrific defence from the Dragons. Janelle Williams, one of those in there. They're kicking from inside their own 30 here, the Titans. Well, that was a terrific defensive set from St George Illawarra.
Well, particularly because they went 85 metres, 90 metres on that attacking set after points. And it puts themselves in really good position for this set of 6. And you can see how willing they are. Everyone's lining up. They want the ball. Unfortunately, Tale Holmes is coming off the field with the doctor at the moment.
Looks like a hand injury there with a finger there for Holmes. Bringing nice and close there. 9 cameras. Chapman now for the Dragons. 35-minute halves. There is still time for the Gold Coast. Kezi Apps tackled on the last.
I think she's found a position, Kezi.
Here's a kick from Pearson. Brown's underneath it for the Titans. Knocked backwards, and then there's a knock on from the Gold Coast.
I've got knack on Dragons.
Or Dragons first.
No
So
advantage.
it'll be a changeover.
Last tackle.
I think there was a touch on the way down. It might have been McGregor looking for the tap back.
But again, what was promising about that, the kick went up. There were 4 or 5 Dragons jerseys around just hunting for that ball, showing that they really want to get it in their hands. They want to keep playing and pushing the footy.
You see there the Gold Coast having to do a heap more work in defence. 203 tackles to the Dragons, 144. Here's Shannon Martow. 15 short of the halfway line. Griffin now putting on a step. Dragons defence up to the task. Now Destiny Brill. Good run from her. Shrugging away from some Dragons defenders. Now, did that go out the back? It did. It's play on here for the Gold Coast. A big future in the game. Destiny Brill made her Origin debut for Queensland last year.
She's such a strong one at the football too because she's spilt so low to the ground. She just bumps them off and has a great pass on her too.
Griffin on the last, puts it through. Karina Brown coming out after it, puts in another kick, but couldn't get good connection on it.
Just didn't quite get the bounce. If it bounced up into her hands, there was a try out of Titans supporter on the inside. They just needed a little bit of luck. There's still 25 minutes to go. The last thing they need to do is panic. Beautiful kick, just held it up short of the fullback of the Dragons. Just didn't get a friendly bounce. Just had to kick up there. She had the Titan supporter on the inside.
And again, Tonagato does really well. Tidies it up at the back there, and you can just sort of see her really warming her way into this game. The first couple of minutes, she was, you know, just finding where she would slot in, and now she's just popping up seamlessly.
Yeah, it's that positioning. It's a bit deep early on, and a couple of chip kicks from the Titans. And like you said, just adapted on the run. And snuffled out another try there. A couple of try savers from Tonagato. Set up a try early to Tegan Berry with a beautiful cutout pass. She's been a handful.
Cody House with a run.
Quincy Dodds, her pass from dummy half is such an advantage. Really sharp. Very rarely does she miss. That way getting out, teasing the markers, drawing the penalty.
And the good thing about it too, because if Keeley starts at 9, pushes into that lock position when they bring Quincy on, you've gained another ball player in that what's traditionally been a ball running position, become a ball player as well. So it gives you those extra options out the back.
So Jess Elliston is being called out for this high tackle.
So if you follow what happened during the trials, a nice little high five with Holly Wheeler.
For high contact, the penalty's going here against you.
A lot of players have been getting sim bin. I look forward to speaking to Andrew Abdo later on, ask him about the intentions of the referees during the season. It wasn't too bad.
So the Dragons take the tap.
Move! Give space, hold! Don't walk forward! Hold! Go one.
More good field position for them. Now coming up next, the grand final rematch between the Broncos and the Roosters, live from right here at McDonald Jones Stadium, here on your home of Rugby League, Wide World of Sports. You won't want to miss this one. It should be a terrific clash.
Lock in, hold! Don't walk forward! Go!
NRLW, back for season 2022. We missed out last year, but enjoying it already this afternoon. Dragons fans certainly are, and they're hungry for more points. Dodd now, she's tackled 13 metres away from the line. Here's the last. They go down the short side, Pearson. And that pass had a question on it. Still play on here. Still the last for the Dragons. Here's a kick for the in-goal area. Coming out after it, Davis chasing. And they're going to bat it dead just in time. A near thing for the Dragons. They'll get a goal line dropout. Enterprising play from St George Illawarra.
Well, again, that right edge combination of Tegan Berry and Jamie Chapman just coming up with some brilliant work. Tegan Berry stays alive, keeps the ball out, pops it to Chapo. Chapo sprints around to the inside, looks for some support runners and thinks, I'm just going to pop it on the toe. And it's a beautifully weighted kick under huge pressure. Big chase. This is brilliant football.
Yeah, great support from Keeley Davis through the middle. A little pile up at the end. Samson Gray's on report for late contact. You've got to say that they're looking dangerous to the Dragons at the moment. And Tegan Dimmick comes down to the sideline. The daughter of Jimmy Dimmick. I play with Jimmy Dimmick. Tegan played in the 19 State of Origin team.
Okay, so the penalty's going against you for high contact. We're coming over here.
To play State of Origin, Steph Hancock actually on the Titans. Her father, Rowan Hancock, played for Queensland.
Yep.
Plenty of good bloodlines. And the Dragons get a penalty 10 metres out.
So this is for that hot contact by Tasman Gray. So you got the mail before the ref did there, Freddie. Hey, listen to that. So she's on report and the penalty's been given here. So rather than it be a goal line dropout, Dragons get a tap.
And they can go right on the attack. Roo, they're 5 metres away from the line after they do take that tap. Dodd goes to dummy half. There's a big chance for the Dragons to score their 4th try of the game. They're stacking this left side. It's exactly the way they go. Fuimaono. Dummies, goes on her own and will be forced back. Thought about reaching out, but as she was about to reach out, was forced back in the tackle. Here goes Cody House for the line. And she's going to be stopped. Still fighting, though, in the tackle. Will get over the line, but held up.
Held up, and we tackle 4, Cody
Great
House.
defence from the Titans. The right side defence are outnumbered, but they work together. And then holding up Cody House. Still a couple of tackles to go.
So they're on the front foot big time here, and here's Tegan Dimmick. Stopped a couple of metres away from the line. Last play here.
Plenty of space, Solly out to the right.
That's exactly where they're going. Freddie Pearson, though, puts on a step and a kick that's going to go dead.
Yeah, not a great pass out of dummy half. Pearson had to reach for it. They changed her mind on what she wanted to do on the last tackle.
In the middle with your foot.
She had to go back on the inside. And then the late option, the kick, was too heavy.
Well, Freddie, you spoke earlier about father-daughter combinations playing, so Steph Hancock and Rowan being the first two and Tegan and Jimmy being the next. Brother-sister combinations to play for the same club. Talia and Tyrell Fuimaono, both with the Dragons.
Jordan Rapana.
And Rapana?
Yeah.
No, but for the same club.
Right.
Yeah, same club.
Here's Gray for the Titans. Let's take a sideline, Emma Lawrence, with an injury update.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tale Holmes, the Dragons back rower, is in the sheds with a wrist injury. She's in a lot of pain, and they're telling me it's unlikely she will be back. You can see it there. Fingers crossed she's right for next week. I know Rue's got massive raps on Tale.
Titans 30 metres away all of a sudden. Thank you for that, Emma, from the Dragons line. Here's a kick, and Berry does very well.
Yeah,
Terrific take.
Got a body in good position. Had it back to the defence. That way they had to go over the top of her to get the ball. And it was a nice catch.
The Titans would love an error here from the Dragons, but that's been one of the qualities of the Dragons game. There hasn't been too many until now. But here's a rare mistake. Georgia Hale's got it for the Titans. Can they score here and get themselves back in the contest? Just under 14 minutes left. The Gold Coast through Elliston and an inside ball, and they're 8 metres away from the line. Marto fighting hard in the tackle. Centre field, they play it. There's a penalty. They might not have wanted the penalty there, the
they're on the
Titans.
push.
Marker impeding.
It looked like they had space out to this right, didn't it, Salty? I don't think they wanted that penalty. They'll take it for the breather and the extra set of 6 tackles. But incredibly, this is only the 8th tackle that they've had in the opposition 20, opposed to the Dragons 31. So it just shows how strong the Dragons have been close to their own line.
Kimmy Brayley-Nardi gets a pass away and looking to capitalise on this rare venture down the Dragons' end of the field, the Gold Coast. And they should score and will score through Raftran-Smith. Tiana Raftran-Smith will score. The 18-year-old scores the Titans' first ever try in NRLW.
Yeah, well done by Kimmy. Recognised that Jamie Chapman had been in the tackle before, couldn't quite make it back into position, which left a major overlap to the Titans. On the Harvey Norman replay, you just see Chapman going back into position there. Makes the pass. There's pretty much no one in front of her. They're back the Titans. Still 13 minutes to go, plenty of time.
As you spoke about Kimmy Nati, just the way she schemes around the ball, you can see why she was the player of the match in the 2018 Grand Final. Not only is she a great runner of the ball, but she sees space absolutely beautifully. Again here, recognising that the centre is not in position and it's only the winger, and a 3-on-1 on that winger comes up with the right pass at the right time.
They needed that one, and it's come still with 12 minutes left on the clock.
Well, the goal kick is going to be important.
Brianna Clark from out wide. There you go.
Geez, they only need black dots, the girls.
Hey, front rowers. Front rowers. Goal kicking front rowers. What the?
20 on the break. 15.
Brianna Clark. That's a good kick too.
6, 5, 4, 3.
So there's the Roosters warming up for their clash, coming up soon against the Broncos. It's the second of our 3 games here at McDonald Jones Stadium this afternoon. What about that conversion, by the way, from Brianna Clark, goal-kicking front row, if you don't mind?
Many skills in the front row. Many.
What was your...
Any goal kicks, Roo?
Not for me. No. I chipped and chased once.
Has there been any in the family?
Did you retrieve?
I did retrieve it, actually. I did, and I scored. I think she heard me pounding down the field and just went, oh, take it.
Big set of 6 here for the Dragons in defence. This has been the best part of their game, keeping the Titans in their own half.
Okay, push up, Dragons, Tom on.
Well, speaking of the game coming up next, Emma Lawrence is now with Taryn Aiken. Take it away, Emma.
Quitty, straight up! All the way home.
How are you feeling to finally get back out there?
Yeah, it's been a really long wait to finally play, but it's really exciting that we're here and it's finally game day.
You get to line up alongside Ali Brigginshaw, who her rivals are describing as the GOAT of Women's Rugby League. What is it like playing next to her?
Yeah, it's so good playing next to Ali, being in the halves with her. She's the best in the women's game, so it's awesome to get to play with her.
Can't wait to watch you. Thanks so much, Taryn.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Taryn. That will be a great contest coming up. Broncos v Roosters. And then later on, it's the Knights up against the Eels. Both teams on NRLW debut later on this afternoon. What about that for a scary moment for the Dragons?
Okay, Georgia, move!
Well, scary, but also at the same time, how exciting. They play with such fearlessness.
Just didn't panic.
Yeah.
Tegan Berry didn't panic, dropped the ball. Found Tonegano, just popped it up.
Hold, go 2.
Chapman, watch out if she gets on the outside. Thought against it, straightened. Tackles just short of halfway. Taifua and Rathstrand-Smith, the defenders for the Gold Coast. Kezzy Apps through the middle of McDonald Jones Stadium yet again. Been outstanding as Kezzy into the front row, as has this player in Cody House. That's a good tackle down low. On the last, for Mayono, inside pass, Tonegado goes to House. Oh, bang, Brianna Clark. What a hit.
Last shackle handover.
Not only can she kick goals, that is a great tackle there. Cody House is such a hard player to stop, and she gave everything there. And that was the last tackle too, so that was an important tackle by Brianna Clark.
Cody, move!
Shania Power for the Titans. 8-point ball game. 9 minutes remaining.
Quitty, straight up! Go 2, kill him at 10.
Brayley Nardi leading the tackle count. As you can see, they're all tight. It's the top 5. No surprise there.
That was a jumper. I thought it was the hair.
They have made 262 tackles, Salty. That's a lot of defending.
Up now, Jamie! Hold.
Jimmy Brayley Nardi playing the ball. Georgia Hale goes here to Shannon Marto.
An extra 80 tackles, the Titans.
Holly off the ball.
Now, Destiny Brill goes to Kimmy Brayley Nardi. Rathstrand-Smith, the try score again, going for the corner, is going to be wrapped up. Changeover. Not a bad place to relinquish possession.
Smart defence from Chapman, back to speed. Just allowed her to get on the outside and realised she'd have her covered. She's very confident with her speed. There was no real danger.
But again, that no panic, I think there, Freddie. No panic from Chapman, no panic from Berry. They just talked to each other and they solved it, and they came up with the right tackle.
Just coming outside their own 20 now, the Dragons. Done pretty much everything right this afternoon, but the Titans still in the contest. And here's a run here from Paige McGregor.
She lost a winger.
Yeah, dummy to no one.
I've seen plenty throw the ball there in that situation. She's done extremely well, Paige McGregor. to pull that back.
The closest to her was the mascot on the sideline.
Hold here, hold. Go full.
The winger was infield. Here goes Dodd. Got Kezzy Ups looming up in support. There's an arm there. I know she knocked it on here.
Lock on.
Knock on from Kezzy Apps. Thought it might have struck a Titans arm, but no, it was a knock on from Kezzy Apps, so the Titans will get the ball.
It was a great piece of work by Quincy Dodd coming out, recognising there was only one marker who was a little bit off centre, and there was space in behind in that ditch, right behind the play the ball, which you can find a lot of joy if you can get the right angles. And unfortunately there, the ball just goes below Kezzy's arms and she knocks that on. But that, great signs for the Dragons, not so great signs. The middle is starting to open up by the Titans.
It's great to see they haven't stopped playing. Sometimes you tend to,
oh, here's a kick early.
And Karina Brown.
Can she get a bounce? Oh. She does, Karina Brown. Good defence, though, on her. The Titans 20 metres away. Kick on the first tackle. You love to see it. Now there's a knock on.
Oh.
Lock on.
There's definitely a Dragons hand.
There was.
That forced the ball.
Was it Paige McGregor, Freddie?
Yeah, put a hand there. Here's a great tactic off the scrum. Paletti using Karina Brown's skill. This time she got the bounce. Couldn't quite get the pass away. And McGregor slaps at the ball. The referee calls it a knock-on, loose carry. A bit unlucky. Great defence again by the fullback. Tonegata, what a player.
Oh,
what
amazing.
a player.
And hasn't... Paige McGregor's come into the game a lot in this second half. She's really got herself involved, not just defensively, but with that ball in hand.
So the Dragons still hanging on to that 8-point lead. The Titans asking plenty of questions late in this contest. Oh, and here's a mistake, Freddie.
There's a bit of a second effort in the tackle, and Asher's putting the ball to the ground. It came loose. Here's a second effort here. There's the arm in there as well. I'd be complaining too.
The Titans. Time starting to run out. Just over 5 minutes left. You'd think they'd have to score in this set. Paletti floats the ball to Karina Brown. Cuts back towards the inside. The Dragons defence though yet again there in numbers. Now Griffin, centre of the ground through Power. Shania Power. She'll be wrapped up 5 metres away from the line. Now going out of dummy half is Destiny Brill. Pops it out the back and a try coming for the Gold Coast here and again. Back-to-back tries for the Titans, and it will set up a grandstand finish. Shannon Marto with the try for the Gold Coast.
Well, that was brilliant. The Titans were spread from sideline to sideline on the Harvey Norman replay. Destiny Brill just has a little investigation out of dummy half and pops the ball back for the Titans' second try. They were spread from sideline to sideline. The Dragons felt threatened, which opened up the middle of the field. Beautiful support play. With Ellen, we've got 4 minutes to go. We're down to a 4-point ball game with a kick to come.
Shannon Marto with the try, and now Brianna Clark. Just under 4 minutes left. Referee just blowing time off.
Do we know why?
And I think they might be waiting because Bunker's still looking at the try, so the try's not confirmed.
Oh yeah, the touchy. He's over in front of where the try was scored.
Okay, thank you.
Now it's been confirmed.
Okay, when you're ready, just wait, Brianna, wait for my touch judge. And
so now Brianna Clark can convert the try. What a big finish. It was the Dragons leading 14 points to 0. Now the Titans have come back into it, and then we've got another big game coming up. Straight after this, it's the Roosters and the Broncos. We cannot wait for that one. Don't forget, later this afternoon, we've got the Eels and the Knights. There's some strong defence.
Oh! What a response! Wow. What a response! The goal kicker, Brianna Clark. One of the experienced, Holly Wheeler, comes up with the tackle of the game. Has been the best part of the Dragons game all afternoon, is their defence down this end of the field. What a great tackle. It all comes down to the halves now. Rachel Pearson.
So the Dragons now through Pearson. Now they're going to go into touch on tackle one. What about that?
Well, that's inexperience.
On tackle one, going into touch, Jamie Chapman.
Yeah, on this line, Tasman.
2.5 minutes remaining, and the Titans will get the ball. Now they went for a kick on the first tackle from a scrum earlier. Will they go for an early kick here off the play the ball? There's no fullback at home. Shannon Marto now. 2 minutes left. The Titans. Can they complete a remarkable comeback? Tasman Gray now. Quick play the ball. Rayleigh Nardi. Shannon Marto's put it down.
Knock on, Titans.
So a knock on. A knock on from the Titans. And that might just be enough to see the Dragons home if they can complete their set. There's 90 seconds remaining. What a terrific contest to open up NRLW, a brand new season, a new era for the competition. The Titans on debut. The Eels and Knights both on debut in the competition. We'll see them in action later today. Bit of work being done in back play. So the clock stops with just under 90 seconds left. Jamie Chapman, player of the match in the All-Stars earlier on in the year. One of the real excitement machines of NRLW is Jamie Chapman. So she will play on, and the Dragons will feed the scrum. They complete this set. You think that they'll have enough done to get the job done, but boy, oh boy, they're going to, I think, make Jamie Soward and all the Dragons fans' heart to stop a little bit in this last minute or so. Made to go back and play the ball. Holly Wheeler, 5 metres into Titans territory. 1 minute remaining. The Dragons leading by 2. Dodd goes here to Albert, who's been really strong. That hit up with just as much intensity now in the last minute of the game as her carries in the first minute. Troy Mayono with a dummy, and she'll be wrapped up. 45 seconds remaining. 2 tackles left in the set. Now it's with Davis. Goes straight through. The ball comes loose. Has Davis got it back? She has, with a fresh set of 6. The strip nearly worked. Now Albert for the Dragons. Towards the post, only a metre away. And the offload to Dodd. And Dodd will go over and score and seal the victory for the St George Illawarra Dragons, scoring right on full time. Coming off the bench this afternoon, Quincy Dodd has been outstanding. They're in control for most of the afternoon, St George Illawarra. The Titans have given them a scare late on. That try to hand the Dragons victory in game 1 of NRLW 2022. Great offload from Albert. And There goes Quincy Dodd, scoring the match-winning try for St George Illawarra. Well done to them and to their coach, Jamie Soward. 4th try in her NRLW career for Quincy Dodd. Outstanding work from Albert in the lead-up. And Quincy Dodd with the try. And finally, an easy conversion here for Rachel Pearson. The full-time siren has sounded. And she converts. So full-time here at McDonald Jones Stadium, and victory to the Dragons over the Titans by 20 points to 12.